Hi everyone. Today is Thursday, July 24th, and it's a very special and unique day for the birthday quest. Even with 2,000 some friends with listed birthdays, the odds are that there will be at least one day where you have no friends that are celebrating a birthday. And today, day 54 of the birthday quest, is the first day that falls into that category. Because these days are so rare, I decided this would be a beautiful opportunity to celebrate the really important people in my life who are no longer with us. It's an absolute honor to dedicate today's theme to my wonderful buddy, Rob Samels. Rob and I had a special relationship because for the both of us it was the first time that we had a friend, a peer, somebody the same age with whom we had such a multi-layered, complex relationship. First we got to know each other where I was the assistant conductor of an opera where he was cast as a lead. Then he became my boss when I taught for his ear training class at IU. And then my final year at IU, he became my student when he started studying conducting with me privately. I still remember the first time I met him. He was a soloist in a performance we were doing of John Adams' El Nino. And during that rehearsal, he went all in every single time. It was absolutely extraordinary. And I remember thinking to myself, I've got to meet this guy, because normally I try to avoid situations where I'm this random crazy dude going up to somebody telling them, yo, you're amazing. And thankfully we got the chance to work together shortly after that. But I tell you, his acting, his performing, his stage presence, his depth, he can make you feel 10 emotions in one moment. I tell you, I've been so fortunate to work with so many incredible performers and musicians in my life. There are a handful that I know that equal him, but I will never meet a better performer than Rob. He had such a zest and joy for his art and such an incredible work ethic that he put into it. There's so many stories and memories, but I'll just share a few of my favorites. The first is me calling him Rob. So this is when he was my boss and I was teaching for his ear training class, which, by the way, he made into an amazing class. He dramatically lowered the rate of people that had to retake the class, not by dumbing it down, but just by making the class awesome. We had known each other for over 2 years at that point, and we were a few months into the semester. So one day he comes up to me in class's lounge and he says, Vince, the influence you have on people at this music school is crazy. So I ask him, what do you mean? And he says, Vince, my whole life, everyone has always called me Robert. I've always disliked the nickname Rob, and you're the only person who's ever called me Rob. But now I can tell the people that know you and talk with you because so many people are calling me Rob now. So of course that meant for over 2 years he never said anything to me, and so I asked him, how come you never told me? And he said, Vince, you know, it's strange, but with you, it worked. It was okay. I never shared this with him, but the reason why I called him Rob wasn't to give him a cool nickname or be different. It's because the very first time that I heard my dear teacher and mentor, Emery Paulo, address him, he called him Rob. But 90% of the time, Mr. Paulo would call him Robert, sometimes he'd call him Robbie, sometimes he called him Samels, and it just happened to be that the very first time I heard Mr. Paulo address him, it was one of the 2 or 3 times that he happened to call him Rob. The second story is one of those moments in my life I'm so incredibly thankful for. I had been at Juilliard for a semester, and it was the first week of school in January back at IU. Juilliard had 1 extra week off, so I was able to go to IU and visit, and I saw so many people during that week. But Rob and I spent over 4 hours at Bear's Place, and we talked about everything. I specifically remember going through 10 Cokes during that time, but we talked about life, music, the business, educational institutions, relationships. He asked me some very specific relationship advice, which I gave to him in great detail, and we even came up with a game plan, which ended up working out exactly as he was hoping. We also talked in great detail about life and the future. Rob was at a crossroads in a number of different ways, and that particular year was the year that Rob learned a very disappointing but very important lesson that a lot of us learned during our time there. But Wolf Trap was such an important launching point. He was so excited to be going there, and we crafted this 5-year game plan about where he wanted to be and the steps he wanted to take to get there. All the rest of the details will have to wait for that proverbial book I'm going to write in 20 years. But Rob is one of the most wonderful, breathtaking, talented, and amazing people that I've ever known. He played bassoon, he was a pianist, a singer, an actor, a composer, a teacher, and a really good friend. Before today, this theme was just between me, a piano, and a Juilliard practice room the evening of the tragedy. Rob, I am so lucky I got to share those years with you, and I'm so lucky I get to tell people about one of the most incredible, gifted, talented, and wonderful people that I've ever known in my life. I miss you, bud.